back today for a new do-it-yourself video. So let's go to show you what I'm gonna work on. So that's the fabric I'm gonna work on. So it's a Liberty, so it's a cotton with flower print on it, and I think it has some kind of vintage vibes on it. I got it last year in Bahrain, and this is the model of dress I want to make. So it kind of has like a vintage styles. At least it's what I wanted to do. So I would like to make like for the top, like a top at the front. I will have like 5 pieces, and at the back 3. Something pretty waisted like that, a little bit like a corset, but not as tight as a corset. And I will have ruffles at the neckline too, so I think it will look very nice like this. And for the skirt, I want a flared skirt, and for that I will make pleats like this. So maybe I will have to use a lining for the top. And if I use a lining, I will use this white cotton here, because I rather save these pretty fabrics. And for the pattern, so this time I'm not gonna make all the pattern by myself. I'm gonna reuse this pattern I used for my black gingham dress I made last year, and it was from a Burda magazine. It was August 2016, number 200. So that's the pieces. So last time when I made it, I alterated the pieces, and here I'm gonna make it a lot different. As I told you, I want like a total of 8 pieces for the top. So I will show you when I cut the pieces. All the pieces of the pattern on my fabric. So for the top I will have a total of 5 pieces. So this will be in double, this as well, and this I will cut that on the fabric fold like this. So it will only be one piece like that, if it makes sense. So contrary for my gingham, contrary at the opposite of my black gingham dress, what I did last time is I gathered these 2 pieces like this. But I thought it was cool to have a sewing line here, so I'm gonna keep it like that. And here for the back, I'm gonna have a total of 3 pieces. Originally in this fabric, this is separated, but I think I don't like it. It will have a sewing line here, and I think it's better this way. On my black gingham dress, I reunited these 2 pieces too. Same things here for this line. I will have to put it at the folding line of the fabric, so it will be 1 full piece like that. Voila. One more thing. So here, as you can see, that's the way I have to cut these pieces. So it's kind of like a diagonal line, sorry. So I think they put it that way on this pattern, so it will be stretch. I think that's the reason, I'm not so sure, but I will have to put those pieces this way. All my pieces for the top are cut. So what I did here is I had 0.5 centimeter, which is a 5 millimeter all around, because I was worried it was going to be too small, but I know for the breast it's going to be too big anyway, because I remember on my dress I had to add another pleat here, so I'm sure I will have the same problem here, but we'll work on that later. So first, what I'm gonna sew, I'm gonna start with the dart at the breast here, so 2 darts. Then I will sew those parts here together. Then I will sew this line here, and then I could coordinate this superior top part with the inferior top part with sewing here like this. Then I'm gonna work on the back of the top here. And so I didn't cut this part at the folding line of the fabric because I forgot, but it's gonna have a zip, so I needed this sewing line. So I'm gonna keep it open, but I'm gonna sew this line here, and then I'm gonna reunite the back with the top, the back with the front, sorry, here by sewing the side. Voila, so now I have to work on all this sewing. So little precision here. So all the part of the top have been cut with the way of the fabric at position at the diagonal, except for this part, which is the central part of the top, this one here. And I cut it as a folding part of the fabric like that here. Well, I hope it makes sense. This is what I got so far. So I sew all the front of the top on the back, except the middle line on the back here, because I'm gonna have a zip here. And I didn't sew the top with the back together yet because I want to try it on me and be sure it fits. Hopefully I won't have to alter it too much. And now I'm working on the straps because then I'm gonna just pin it to my top, so then I could try it, and I think then it will be easier to try the top like this. So I cut 4 bands, 5 centimeters of width per 45 centimeters of length, because and I also cut 4 bands of interfacing here because I'm gonna interface all those pins. So I will just have to iron like that, so then the strap will be more heavy. And then when the interfacing will be put on, I will just have to sew so really easily those bands like that, front size against front size, well, the other way. And I'm just gonna sew and then over sew the side, and then I'm gonna flip it back, and then that will be good. So once I tried on the top and made sure the size was good, I started to work on the ruffles. So to make these ruffles, first I made a tiny hem at the bottom of the edge, and then I gather. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm making sure all together are proportional. So I'm doing it while watching a TV show because, well, it takes quite a while to gather and make sure it's all proportional. Now, once the ruffles are ready, I stitch them with the strap of the top to the top of the top, front size against front size. Then I'm preparing the lining of the top. To do it, I do exactly the same stitch that I did for the top in the fabric. Then when it will be done, I will open all the sewing line with my hair round and oversew the edge. So when the lining is ready, I'm stitching the top of the top in lining with the top of the top in fabric. The straps on the ruffles of the tops are now taking in sandwich while I sew the lining with the fabric. I could stitch all of these in just one stitch all together, but I prefer to have a stitch before to have a stitch before with the ruffles on the straps. So like that, I'm sure there was no accident, and I made sure the strap on the ruffles were still while I sew the lining with the fabric. So once the stitch will be done, I will just have to flip back the lining on the top of my dress. Will be done. So I'm now working on the skirt. So before I prepared the pleats to make sure they were all at equal distance, and now I'm making a stitch to make sure they stay still. Really look like a dress right now. So this is what it looks like now. I just sew the top with a skirt. I'm gonna now oversew the edge of the stitch in the inside so it will look pretty. And then I have to close the dress in the back here. Up. So I will make a mark for where the zip will end, and then I'm gonna stitch so the middle back by a really simple stitch, a straight one, and I will then open it at the around and sew the edge, and then I will sew the zip, and it will be over. I will just have to make some finishing by adding a tiny hem to the bottom, and that will be over. I can't wait to see the result. And here is the finished result. I hope you enjoy watching all the making process of this dress, and I hope you like it. Bye!